What's up, mortgage coach community? Dave Savage sitting down with Dino Katsiametis. Did I say that right, Dino?
Katsiametis.
Right on.
Perfect.
I am sure some folks have pronounced your name incorrectly before, possibly.
No, never. Everybody gets it right the first time.
That's cool. Well, I'm going to call you Dino K for now.
Perfect.
Hopefully that's okay. So Dino with a K out of Mission Viejo, Southern California, Orange County. For those of you who don't know, some pretty nice size loan amounts. We're going to talk about how he is being more effective in this refi tidal wave. Let's face it, it is a tidal wave. Every time I talk to people, it's like overwhelming amount of opportunities and loans. And then how he's building relationships. He's going the extra mile to still build trust and relationships at a whole new level. So Dina, for people that don't know you, tell us a little bit about your mortgage practice and your production right now.
Yeah, I've been doing loans for 22 years. I've been a referral-based guy the entire time. I don't advertise at all. I do prefer it that way just because the close ratio is so much higher. I feel like whenever I get on the phone with somebody, it's a deal. It's not I need to sell this guy to get a deal. And it's, just like everybody, I've been having my record year. I think year to date, I'm at about 107 million, 300 loans. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm sorry, 200 loans, 107 million. And last year I did just about that. I think I did 199 loans at 107 million. So I've already matched all of last year, and I've got literally over 100 deals in escrow right now. Probably about 20, I think there's 24 or 5 of them that are purchases. And I have another 70 plus that are pre-approved and out looking for houses.
Killing it. And what do you think your production will be this month?
So I just finished up 37 loans at 22.7 million for the month of September.
Boom.
Yeah, it feels pretty good.
Yeah. Congratulations. So it's been a long time since I've interviewed you, and you were doing a lot of media. Well, you've always been a referral-based guy. Are you doing video and different types of content creation still?
Kind of. I'm not really putting it out there the way I used to. At the end of the day, all of that stuff takes a lot of time. And although it was really great at that time, right now, man, I'm literally just, I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning because it's the only time my wife doesn't know I'm gone. And I get to the office and I hustle until about 6 o'clock at night. And every waking moment is literally just trying to get loans done, so to do extra stuff right now.
You're working your database right now. And do you have, what about realtors? How many productive realtor relationships do you have?
Yeah, so it's funny you say that because I always feel like I don't have enough for the amount of time I've been in the business. Somehow it just feels like I should have a lot more, but the reality is there's only 7 that are giving me business regularly. And then I have another probably 10 that give me 1 or 2 here and there. And I got to tell you, I used to feel like, why aren't they giving me the business? But then I finally bought some software and I started digging in, and I realized they just don't do any more business. So they don't have more business to give me, when they're only doing 5 or 6 deals a year. And unfortunately and sad, but that's how the majority of the real estate agents are. And Todd Duncan told me that. And that's when I started not paying attention to realtors. I'm still paying attention to them, but I'm by all means digging into my database because that's where the wealth is. It's sitting in my database with my past clients.
That is such a good point. I interviewed the founder and CEO of MMI, Mortgage Market Intelligence, I think. And that's a platform. We actually use it here at Mortgage Coach to know how much production loan officers do. And then a lot of loan officers use it to know how much production realtors do. And it is. If you're listening to this, guys, your database is your gold. That is your career And if you work hard to build a database of 1,000 or more families that like you, trust you, and you're their go-to mortgage guys, you'll close over 100 loans, 200 loans. How big is your database now that you're managing? You know, call it mortgages under management.
Yeah, it's about 3,000.
Yeah, so there's gold in there. You know, you're doing a lot of business, but bro, trust me, there's more gold to even be had from where you're at. So let's talk about how you're being efficient and effective with Mortgage Coach. This is the Mortgage Coach channel. Why do you use Mortgage Coach? Let's just start with that.
Well, I'll tell you, it stems back, gosh, it's probably 10 years ago, when you were trying to get me to use it. And I was like, oh man, just, and then you finally got me to do it. And I kept paying for it for about 1.5 years or so. And you're like, why don't you use it more? And I'm like, because my clients call and they tell me they want a loan and I don't have to sell them on it. And you made a comment about 10 years ago that stuck with me, and I hope you don't mind, but I use it all the time. Every time I talk to a younger loan officer or one of my guys over here, anybody that wants to know what the secret sauce is. And in fact, I coach a guy right now, and I told him, you got to get Mortgage Coach. And I said, it doesn't matter if these people are calling you and are already sold. Because what you told me is, it's not about trying to sell them for the deal. Like, they're calling you because they want a loan, and they already know they're going to use you. But you're going to be just another regular mortgage guy if you just tell them what the rate is and around what the cost is, and send them, send me your stuff and I'll get it done for you. Or you can represent yourself in the right manner, in a professional manner, right? And give them a nice spreadsheet, give them some real cost, give them some real how much money they're going to save over the term of the loan. And then you're going to stand out over the crowd. You're going to stand out, and you're going to look like you're a true professional. And the conversation we had back then stuck, and I've thought about it a lot, and I still haven't done it to the level that I want to, but I've definitely anteed up big time. And because of that, the amount of referrals that I get and the amount of relationships that I've built have been, off the charts. And a lot of that stems back to what you told me that one time. And it's true. And at the end of the day, I had a lady that, and it was a bigger loan. She was at Chase Mortgage, and she couldn't get the deal done in time. And the realtor said, can you just call Dino? And she really wanted to use Chase. And I ended up doing this for her. I gave her a Mortgage Coach, really made it, something special. And she came back and she said, I'm using Dino moving forward every single time I need a loan. And the reason why is, she said, that was more professional than anything Chase gave me. So it worked. And it happened to be around the same time you were trying to get me to do that. And ever since then, I was like, you know what? That Savage guy, he's right. I got to ante up. And I did.
I love that story. And anyone listening to this right now, I want you to just write down the words beyond the transaction. What Dina just shared is how he's giving value beyond the transaction. So sometimes you do need to do that to win the business, but you always need to do that if you want to create the most impact and have the best relationship, where they don't just look at you as someone I like, I trust, he or she keeps their word, but someone that delivers value beyond the transaction. So I love that. And anything I've ever said, you can steal it, like you use it with other folks. In any interview that I've ever done, for anyone that's watching the Mortgage Coach community, guys, take it and run. That's why we do these interviews. So let's talk about specific, like a story right now in this tidal wave. How are you using Mortgage Coach to just be more efficient and serve families at a higher level? Like, tell us a story, explain specific strategies, and I'm going to try to get some scripts out of you. I want to know your tactics, how you position things with clients as we go. So tell us a recent story.
Yeah. So couple of things. As far as being efficient goes, the hardest thing I had to do was learn how to let go of certain things. My email was one of them, right? I got myself an assistant that just really focuses on my email. That was one. Now it freed me up so much to actually originate more and make more calls that it worked, and I got even busier. But then I didn't have time to do everything else I needed to do. So I got a new assistant, and I told him when he started, I just want you to be a mortgage coach ninja. Watch all the videos, really listen to them, but then learn it, know it, get to do it, right? And he's learned how to do that. And now every time we get a new intake call, as soon as I'm done with all the notes, I send them out to my team. I kind of give some quick instructions. And the typical is, this is what we need from you. And this is just us, but we don't work on anything until somebody proves to us they want us to do the business, right? So we're not going to waste a lot of time. But the second they send all their paperwork in, then my team gets after it. One person puts the whole thing together in our LOS system. The other guy gets a mortgage coach put together, and we'll do the comparison. And the part that I had to let go of a little bit was that I needed to review all of them. I needed to do the video for all of them. And it just kept getting pushed off because I had another call to do. And finally, I just said, do the video, get it done. And he's doing them. He doesn't do them as good as I do, but you know what? He's doing them, and he's learning, and he's getting better every single day. So, unless you got all the time in the world, start letting go a little bit. And if you have a team, start using them properly and getting them to do more mortgage coaches, because you're better off with a mortgage coach that isn't as great as what you would have done, right? Because the video or whatever it be, than not doing a mortgage coach at all.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. And I interview loan officers at all level of success. I interviewed Kevin Carlson last week, and he's going to do 100 loans this month. I mean, he might have your volume. There's a lot of smaller loans, but you've got to be efficient and effective. And there's a whole series, if you're listening to this, on how different top producers use mortgage coach. Jeremy Forcier, he creates all his own TCAs, and he has team members do other things. For a guy that does as much business as he does, that's uncommon. Jeremy consistently in today's market's closing over 50 loans a month. But what's more common is that there's a hybrid where team is setting it up. When I interviewed Amber Kovark a few weeks ago, her team is setting up all of her purchases, and then she's doing a lot of her refis at night. So different teams, different people have different ways of doing it. But guys, if you're going to kill it in this market, you need to scale, and you need to train your team to do it. And here's the thing, not only will it expand your capacity because your team can do the mortgage coach setup, but it's also going to make them better. Like, they're going to be better assistants, better servants of your mortgage practice if they know how to do this. So I would even push Jeremy, if you're listening to this, have your team do some TCA setups. And I wouldn't be surprised if he does.
I'll tell you real quick what else it does. It makes them fully vested, because now their name, their picture, their voice is on the line. If they make a mistake, man, they can't hide behind anything. It was them.
Yeah, no, more ownership. Speaking of ownership, when you use a mortgage coach and you give a family options and they pick an option, they have ownership. It's no longer you pitching a program. It's they're invested in the decision. You let them shop for a mortgage within your platform. And it also creates trust because you showed options. You showed transparency over time. That is scientifically triggering trust and ownership. And what's that equal? Conversion, less price exceptions, accelerated sales cycles. So let's show a TCA, and as you pull up your desktop and you show it, what do you call it to a customer? How do you position a total cost analysis to both a purchase client and a refi client, if there's any nuances to that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's really not. I usually call it a spreadsheet. I just say I'm gonna provide a spreadsheet to you for you. It's gonna have a total, and I mentioned the word total cost analysis, but I basically just say it's a spreadsheet. It's gonna give you all of the options, and it's gonna have how much you're gonna save on the refinance on a per month basis, but it's also gonna show you how much interest you're gonna pay over the period of time that you're gonna have the loan, and then it's gonna show you how you can save money if you want to get if you want some more options, whether it be cash out or whatever it be. So that's pretty much how it starts. And every initial conversation I have, I pretty much always say that to them. After you send in all your stuff, we're going to put together, the loan, make sure you qualify, and then we're going to put together a spreadsheet for you. In that spreadsheet, it's going to give you some rate options. Some of them will be like a no cost type deal. Some of them will be with a little bit of cost, and then one might be with paying a few extra points in order to buy down the rate. And whether or not you choose that, it isn't really for me to decide. I'm not going to try and convince you of anything. I just want to get the numbers in front of you so you can make a logical choice instead of an emotional choice. And I think once you see all the numbers, it'll be pretty easy for you to pick out.
I love that. And I interview a lot of different loan officers. I've heard a mortgage coach called a total cost analysis, a savings analysis, a spreadsheet, a personal website. I'd love to know what you do. So if you're watching this right now, put in comments, what do you call a mortgage coach, TCA? So Dino, why don't you pull up one of your total cost analysis and walk us through it?
Yeah. All right, so this one's actually, let me start with the different one to give you guys a better. All right, so this is one where it's a refinance, and I tasked one of my team members to just go through and see who we can pick out to do a refinance. And he put this together for the guy. His current loans at $701,000, 3.75% interest rate. And we really just did his loan, I think about seven to 9 months ago. So here we are again. And then gave him the option of doing the 2.99, 2.875, 2.75. But then this column is kind of the magic for me. This is the column that I almost always put in on a refinance. And the reason why is, I like to show them what the power of having a lower interest rate does. So for example, in this case, 2.99%, sure, you're going to save $317, and you're starting over at 30 years, right? So he's only had this for 7 months. Here we go. And this one's pretty easy because it's $317, but sometimes it's only $100. And I remember one time I had this one guy who was, he had a substantial wealth, and his savings was, I don't know, it was like $150 a month. And his comment to me was, yeah, he goes, I don't know if I want to do it. It's just to save $150 isn't going to be worth it to me. And I'm like, and I knew him well, but I'm like, Steve, it's going to be fiscally irresponsible for you to not do it. Do you know how much saving $150 adds up to? And he's like, dude, I spend that much at a dinner with my family when I'm not even being extravagant. I said, I get it, but let me just do a spreadsheet for you that'll break it down for you, right? And I did this thing, and what I did is I did the fourth column here, and I said, if you're okay making the same amount of, making the same payment that you currently make, then just keep making it. Look what you do. And in this case, you're shaving, over 4 years off of this loan. So how is that not worth it? I go, it's only $150 to you, right? Like this is another guy, not this particular story, but once he saw that, and in his case, it was 2 years. He's like, you mean to tell me that if I refinance, I shave 2 years off of my loan? He's like, fine, do it. Get it done. Make it as easy as possible for me. In this particular case, we just sent this one out today. And here we are saving $317 a month, but we wanted to just drive the point home that if he did the refinance, instead of the 29.3 years, he's actually going to have this loan paid off in 25.67 years if he continued making the same payment. So this is a very common one for us, and this fourth column is really, I think, where the magic happens, because once they see that, it drives it home.
No doubt. And I interview a lot of top producers. Almost everybody in this market, when doing refis, whether you're showing just one option with the prepay, looks like Dino shows 3 options with the prepay, all of them are showing value beyond the transaction, and they're showing how to build wealth with real estate faster, how to pay off your debt faster. I did get what I thought was a pretty smart thing from Kevin, the guy who's doing 100 loans. and he always shows the default is 36 months. I noticed you did 60 months, but he likes to do 36 because it shows the break even faster. And he had a whole script around that Dino, I think you and your team would get some value from. So I recommend you check out the interview with Kevin Carlson from a few days ago. I'll put a link in comments in just a minute, guys. This guy is super efficient, super effective, and he puts a video on every single TCA, and he made a whole case around how that just helps him go faster. This is how I can be more efficient. This is how I can convert more. And this is how I build relationships faster. Anything else you want to share about this story, or you want to show another one?
Yeah, let me show another one here that that I like. So this one right here. I do this for every single loan that funds. My assistant puts together a mortgage coach, and it's their brand new loan right here. And then we show them what the power of paying a little extra does every month. Here's a $100 principal reduction. Here's a $200 principal reduction. And we draw the arrows to show just how much faster they can pay off the loan. And then we have the same script basically. Now, I used to do the video in Mortgage Coach, and literally 2 weeks ago, I decided to start doing it in BombBomb, just on these finishing videos when it funds. And the reason why is just because it's kind of when they get the email, it's a little more in your face instead of just seeing a bunch of writing in this. I wanted to show that excitement. And it's, here, I'll play the video for you guys just so you can hear it. You guys can't hear it, can you?
No.
So here's what I do though. I basically just say, hey, congratulations, you know, your loan is funded. I'm so excited for you guys. It's your first home. And I just, you know, I wanted to share that with you because it means a lot to me. And second, I want to thank you. I want to thank you because there's so many options out there and so many other loan officers you could have chosen, but you went with me and that means the world to me. Thank you for the trust. Also, I just wanted to show you the spreadsheet I put together for you. In the first column, it's got your brand new loan. You'll notice down at the bottom, it's highlighted. It's got 30 years, right? You got a 30-year fixed. But I just wanted to show you what the power of paying a little extra can do every single month. You'll notice in the second column, it's got a $100 principal reduction. If you just paid an extra $100 every single month, you'd have the house paid off in 28 years. And in the third column, if you did $200 a month, you'd have the house paid off in 26.4 years. So not bad for paying just a little bit extra every single month. So anyways, thanks again for everything. Congratulations. And remember, if you have any friends, family, or coworkers, I would absolutely love to get a referral from you. Thanks again. Bye-bye. So that's my video right here. And I do that every single time for every single deal that funds. And I'm very good about asking for referrals at the very, very beginning by telling people that I'm a referral-based only guy. And then I tell them somewhere in the middle, and then I tell them again at the very end, and I ask for it. Now, I don't think that's a tacky way to do it. I cannot be that guy that says, hey, now that we finished, we did a great job for you, you know, I need to have 5 names from you. I could never do that. I don't know how some people do, but just simply asking for it here and giving them value the whole way through, I don't feel bad at all for asking for that. Now, there's a couple strategies here that I really like, right? This is a very simple, just goodbye email, thank you email, and moving on to the next, right? But there's also a strategy where if somebody has, let's call it, you know, 5% down, right? They're putting 5% down. The PMI is going to be a certain number. And I'm always looking to refinance them. So in 6 months, I would love to refinance them just one more time. And I tell them all, I'm like, look, I'm going to put together a spreadsheet for you at the end. It's going to show you, like, if you just paid a little bit extra every month, how much faster you could pay down the loan. And I do this on purpose because, you know, a refinance, even at a rate of 2.99%, if they have PMI, right, and the way the values of homes are going up right now, man, I got to tell you, in 6 months' time, that house might be worth, an extra $40,000 at this rate, the way they're going up here in Orange County. And if she continued to be aggressive about making payments a little bit faster, between the combination of the value going up and her paying down her mortgage, I might actually be able to get a refinance with a 10% equity. And even if I can't drop her rate, I can probably drop her PMI in half. And we get there that much faster.
Love the value you're giving beyond the transaction, guys. This is the theme. And I haven't used this acronym for a while, WACD, what Amazon can't do. If you're a big retailer, you've been obsessing on that for a decade. And in today's world, mortgage professionals, not that I'm saying you have to worry about Amazon, but think of Zillow, think of online lender. You need to do what Amazon, Zillow, online lenders, big banks can't do. And guys, Dino's clearly doing that. He's delivering advice at the point of sale beyond expectations. Could you stop sharing your screen real quick? Just so you and I can, here, I'll pull it. And then I thought you stopped sharing it. And all of a sudden I started seeing myself. And I love his process for asking for referrals. I am going to give everybody a suggestion, and Dino, you tell me what you like, what you think of this idea. It was one of my favorite ideas I got from Jeremy Forcier when we did a site visit pre-COVID. And so Jeremy does ask for referrals at the point of sale, and he thinks of that as just kind of training them. He's like, I really don't get that many, but it just kind of sets the stage that they're going to do it. And then what he does, he says, my most productive time to get referrals is during the process of the loan when they say thank you to me. And he said, usually that happens at clear to close or approval. He goes, but when that client says thank you, and he's got this as a template in his email box, he sends this email. We love helping you. Can you help me with something? My goal this year is to work with more people I like. Can you introduce me to 2 people you think I should know and I can help in the future? And I'm telling you, this is Jeremy's most convertible referral source. And every month he has 5, 6 deals that he gets just from this one email, just from this specific ask. It's a specific sequence. And I've told a lot of people about it. I get like dozens of people every month go, that works. I'm killing it. I'm closing multiple loans every month just from that one touch point. What do you think about that, Dino?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got their technique, and I struggle with saying, give me 2 referrals, right? But I don't struggle with telling people that I'm a by referral only guy, and that I count on my clients to help me grow my business. And I also tell them that I am able to dedicate 100% of my attention to my clients because I'm not so busy trying to chase the next person. I'm not spending money trying to get somebody to call me. My acquisition cost is 0 because all I have to do is a great job. And I tell them this, and I tell them, so the one thing I can guarantee you is that I'm going to do a great job. And if I screw up in any way, I can guarantee you another thing. I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it better. Because if I don't, you're never going to give me a referral again. And Bob, who referred you, is never going to give me a referral again. And that works for me.
Yeah, well, you could edit that email. I think the big takeaway is when someone says thank you in process, a very direct ask.
Yeah.
Because they're loving you. They're feeling the love and they want to help you. I want to share one more idea from an interview, and I want to get your opinion on this one too, Dino. So this came from an interview with Amber Kovark, and one of the questions that she's asking all our Refi clients right now is, how is the home you're in working for you? Let me share my screen. So Amber Kovark, going beyond the transaction was the name of that interview. This is the question she's asking. Is this house working for you? Now in her market, she's in Chandler, Arizona, and she says, the way I'm asking it, but 20 to 25% of the people are like, they want to think about moving up. They want to know what that other house looks like. And so this is what she's doing, guys. she's, putting a TCA out there to the client, and it's called a refi versus move up analysis. So she's saying, hey, here's your refi. You could save 322. And based on what you told me, it'd be an extra bedroom. You told me you want it in a different school district. That'd be 525. And that would be $507 more a month because you qualify for 5% down. Now, this family had equity. They had $120,000 in equity. And so she said, you could buy your new home non-contingent because you qualify with 5% down. And then when you sell your current home, you could recast it and their payment would actually go down $164. Ninja move. But what this family decided to do is they said, you know what? We love this. We're going to buy the new home and then we're going to get more liquid. We've got a financial planner that's getting 8%. Let's look at it at 6%. And guys, here's the money move. She was able to show, take a refi, turn it into a move up. Family gets more liquid to the tune of 125,000, accessible. They have more equity because they bought a bigger home. They get their dream home, and then she's got a listing to bring back to an agent. What are your thoughts on this one, Dino? And have you ever done anything like this?
I guess the word brains and beauty comes to mind. That's brilliant.
You like
That is
that?
just brilliant. I love it. That is a great idea. And it's funny, I never really religiously did annual reviews for years and years. It's something I've incorporated now and I'm doing. And it's one of the best things that I've done. But that's a killer annual review to do with somebody
Or a
and show
refi
them.
review when you're doing a refi. If they, if they're feeling like they might want to consider a move up, you drive that.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. I love it.
All right. Well, I want to.
I'll share a story with you real quick too, and
Brilliant.
it's from one of your mortgage coach guys over there that I think I've seen about 1,000,000 times, Josh Metal. Uh, so Josh and I both used to work at the same company years ago, and he was the big shot. He was always number one. I think he got knocked down like maybe twice the whole time I was there by somebody, but then he went right back again because it just drives him harder, right? So I was always like, I don't know, between number 4 and number 10. And I kind of kept working my way up, but I couldn't even get close to where he was at. And finally, I'm like, hey, dude, can I get some time with you? I want to just ask you some questions. And he's like, sure. So he booked me out like 2 weeks later, early in the morning. And we talked through a bunch of stuff. And I said, so what's the secret sauce? So he runs through his whole day, which you guys have all heard 1,000,000 times on Mortgage Coach. But he runs through his whole day. I'm like, I do that, I do that, I do that, I do that. And I'm like, but I don't do his numbers, And then he finally says, he goes, so every day from, it was like 8 to 10 in the morning, my cell phone goes in my drawer, my door closes, and my computer, all the junk on it is turned off. And all I do is make phone calls. That's it. And I go, that's it, huh? And he goes, that has been the single best thing I've ever done. And he said that he learned that from somebody else that was like in Seattle or something, who told them that's what he does. And he goes, and that guy makes me look like a peanut compared to the numbers he does. So I got to tell you, it's harder than it seems, right? Like getting yourself to sit down and not look at all your other emails, getting yourself to sit down and not be preoccupied with anything else, just straight phone calls, including if you get somebody on the hook, don't stop. Just keep making those calls. Make some time afterwards to keep them on the hook, but don't stop. So it took me about 2 weeks, right? I cleaned out my email, I put together my list, I did all this stupid stuff to try and get ready for it. That very first day I did it, I was trying to get in my groove, and I didn't know who to call exactly, but I picked somebody friendly at first, and it went well. And then I thought to myself, well, the realtor that referred me to that person, let me call that person next. I called the realtor, I gave them a little bit of an update of what's going on with his client, and then I decided to go back and forth, client and then realtor referral, right? And give them an update. Went back and forth, and I did it for the 2 hours like Josh said to do. That day alone, in 2 hours, I made about $50,000. And it was absolute magic because all that happened is that somebody heard from me, and it was magic. The realtor was just shocked that, you know, I reported back news like this person had another baby and they've outgrown their 2-bedroom condo, but, you know, they don't know what to do. So I gave them a TCA and then reported back to the realtor. And it was great, man. I mean, 50 grand in 2 hours.
I love that story for so many reasons. I love it because you did it and it took you to another level. I love it that you took time to reach out to someone that
Yeah.
you admired that was killing it, and you had the conversation, and it wasn't till the very end that you even got the big idea, but you mastermind, you implemented, and then you got it from the mortgage coach community, guys. So I've interviewed Josh a number of times, and that has come up in a number of the interviews, but this is just a little 12-minute and 14-second interview. It was my personal favorite interview in 2018. And in this interview, one, he unpacks that strategy. It's all about how him and his team put their phones down, turn off the alerts. If they have an assistant that manages their inbox for like no interruptions for 2 hours, and they prospect. But he also talks in this interview about how they have this little gratitude session beforehand, where they have like this team huddle that doesn't last a minute over, I think, 10 minutes. And they talk about, you know, that's why I called it gratitude for greatness. So check out this interview, guys. I put a link in chat. It's hearing it from Josh himself. And it is. I mean, there are just certain things that if you implement them, you will transform your business. And disciplined, daily, consistent prospecting, there's nothing more important than that. Because mortgage coach is important. It'll help you earn trust and credibility. But if you don't have leads, if you don't have loans, if you don't have conversations, then mortgage coach can't bring you up to bat. So let's close out with this. I love how you are doing annual reviews. Great job. That's a strategy I'm hearing more and more. It's trending, where providing mortgage coach right within 30 days of closing, where you give value. There's a number of CRMs that automate that. You can go to our mortgage coach partner page if you want to see that, but we have a number of CRMs that will actually automate that process. Now, Dino is going an extra mile. He's putting a custom video on that, whether you do it in BombBomb, whether you do it in Mortgage Coach, whatever's right with you. Dino, my last question is there any other technologies that you're using or any other strategies that are helping you optimize your past customer database right now? So it sounds like Mortgage Coach is a cornerstone to that. Sounds like BombBomb is a golf club you're using. Is there anything else that's helping you right now?
You know, a few different things. So for one, I'm actually custom building an entire CRM that suits exactly the way I like to do business. So I can truly automate a lot of the stuff, but even more than automate it, so I can make sure that certain things are being done through the process, because every single deal you do, you have the ability to grow your business. All you have to do is an awesome job, right? Like just an amazing job. So the technology is like text messaging, for example. I was dead against it for years. I hate doing the texting when it comes to business. For one, you just can't do it the same way, right? And for two, it's hard to track and figure out exactly what was said in that string of messages. And so I'm doing it. You gotta change. But in this new custom CRM that I'm building, I'm going to have I think it's a SMS 360, where it's going to look kind of like email. So I can actually track, it'll go to the CRM webpage, so I can know everything that was being said. So that's a big one for me. You know, a big waste of time and money that I used to do in the past was go after realtors that weren't doing enough business. And that the software that you were talking about, MMSI or whatever it is.
MMI,
Yeah.
You're making sure that when you are putting your time and going after an agent, they're meeting some minimum requirements. What about HomeBot? Have you tried that yet?
And HomeBot is hands down the single best thing I've done that's hands off. Like I actually don't even do much, and the damn thing has made me so much money, it's ridiculous.
Good. I'm
So
glad. I was going to say, if you're not using HomeBot, get
yeah,
on it. Have you turned on the mortgage coach integration?
I have. I haven't been proficient in it, but yeah.
Good, good. So guys, I think this has been a valuable interview. If you have questions for Dino, put them in comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, put your questions. If you got value from it, what was your biggest takeaway? Give us a like, share it with your team, share it with another loan officer that you think could get value from this interview. Dino, any closing thoughts for a new loan officer that's getting in the business right now? Because I am seeing a lot of new blood getting in. So just give us a minute of closing thoughts for anyone new or someone that's struggling in today's market.
Yeah. The one thing I say all the time to everybody, right? It doesn't matter if you're new or not. Everybody tries to do what they think is the to-do date type stuff, like Quicken, Rocket Mortgage, and all the fancy stuff and all that. And I always say, I can never do what they do well enough to beat them. They're too good at what they do. They have way too much money. The difference is they can't compete with me. They don't know how to have a relationship, and they don't know how to talk to people. They're too used to doing this, and they're too used to sending little things and then boom, 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 just upload something and then on to the next person. Nobody knows who you actually are when you're doing a loan through them. Versus with us, we know who our clients are, and we actually love our clients. And I started using that word because it's a strong word, especially for some men. But you know what? I told my people, I said, if you can't love them, at least love on them. Figure out how to love on the clients, because if we can do that and we can do it properly, nobody can compete with us. At least none of the big boys. None of the big boys can compete with us. So the difference is that they have to do a certain percentage of all the loans in the United States just to break even. We have to do this much of all the loans just in Orange County to be millionaires. And guess what? With good relationships, you can do that. So just remember, a relationship lasts for as long as you want it to. All you gotta do is a great job, nurture it. And our old friend Ron Quintero used to tell me, he's like, dude, he goes, you can go and just start picking all the fruit and eating, but then it's gonna be gone. And you're gonna have to keep trying to find some ripe fruit to eat. He goes, or you can start planting some trees and just have your own orchard. It'll just continually reproduce. And that's what the relationships are. I used to think that was just the realtor, but it's not. I have clients that referred me just as many people as realtors have. And you build your orchard. And that's, I think, one of the most valuable things that I can hear. And it doesn't always happen overnight. And when you're new and you hear about all these stories of these guys making the money, well, guess what? They're picking the fruit. And take advantage of it right now because it's here, right? But start building your orchard and then plant the seeds, water them, nurture them, love them, and you'll see it'll pay dividends. I mean, I've been doing this for 22 years and it's a fantastic business to be in.
That was such great wisdom to close out. How important to do that and deliver on that promise is delivering a mortgage coach TCA and being proficient at mortgage coach.
It's so important, because if you can't give somebody, if you're not going the extra mile to let them know how much money they're actually saving or what their options are, then you're not any better than anybody else, right? Anybody can say your rate's 2.99%, the cost is this, but it's not necessarily what the best thing is for them. And I would venture out to say most loan officers don't even know what's best for them until they put it down on paper. And then they can see that maybe buying a point is a little better, or maybe doing a move up is a little better. It's 100%. You've got to get it down on paper. And I always tell my clients, it's not my job to choose what's best for you. It's my job to give you all your options and make it easy for you to understand. That's what a mortgage coach does.
Boom, guys. So if you're not using mortgage coach with every client, start doing that. Give this a like. Let Dino know that you loved it. Dino, dude, I really appreciate you, brother. You delivered a lot of value in today's call. Thank you so much, brother.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.